Hello, this will be a short introduction to using the discussion board. I started with this page as your dashboard. I happen to be logged in as a coach. You could be logged in as your mentor or even a fellow. What I want to show you is currently we have the discussion board placed in the My Tools section. This does not have to stay here. If you have any ideas or suggestions on maybe another category in which it should be called or some other place where it should be located for quick and easy access, please feel free to let me have some ideas. Once you click on the discussion board from inside of the network, you have the ability to see the entire discussion board. There is another way in which you can communicate via the discussion board by way of just simply responding to posts, and I will show you that after we go over the introduction to the discussion boards from within inside the Mentor Network. So here you have the category of Virtual Cafe, Mentoring, and TTT course discussions. Right now those are called the forums themselves. Any of the items listed underneath the forum is the subforum. In this particular case, under the Virtual Cafe was introducing members to the TTT Mentor Network. Underneath the forum, inside of the subforum, you have the various topics. In this particular case, for the Mentor Network introductions, I've asked that you each create a topic for your introductions. This way, the responses of hello, how are you, we have great things in common, or I look forward to working with you, the responses to somebody's introduction would be posted inside of their topic. If you look here, we have introducing Angelica Garcia, and it said 4 after it. That means 4 people responded to Angelica Garcia, and that was the 4 posts. Notice her title was blue until I clicked on it, like Crystal Hadfield and introducing Sean Paulman. I've read these via the messages that came through my email, so it's not necessary for me to click on them, but if you are in the discussion board, you will see that it changes from blue to black if you've read it versus not having read it. Going back to the initial page, so just to reiterate, Virtual Cafe is the forum. In this particular case, introducing members is the subforum. Inside of that, all of the posts that you see underneath the subforum are topics. Inside of a topic, the responses are the post or the response to the initial topic. People like Etta or myself will be responsible for setting up the forums. We may even create the subforums, or we may have a mentor or a coach create a subforum. The subforum will be a category underneath that forum. So in this particular case of mentoring, we started out with the category as a big chunk. And what I'm doing is each sub-forum will be each of our monthly face-to-face meetings, and a question will be created from that. In this particular case, it was based on communication and best practices. We created a subtopic inside of communication and best practices. I've detailed for you the subtopic where it also includes the question in which we're asking you to answer. We would like everyone to respond to someone else's question. So in this particular case, understanding one's needs and wants was a question created by several of the mentors and coaches who attended the first Saturday. If you see here below, the responses to that question are clearly outlined below. To add another response, you click Reply to the Post. When you reply to the post, it will appear here in order for your response to the question about understanding one's needs. Another feature you have available to that is to don't follow and to edit if you post a subtopic here. These are subtopics. If you post a subtopic, you could choose not to follow it. So some of you who may feel like you're being overwhelmed with the emails may say, I don't want to be bombarded with email. When I have the time, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to respond to these messages. Others of you may feel like the email is the way to go. You want to receive the email messages, you want to respond via email because you don't have time to get into the system. These are entirely your choice on which way you want to go with this. And if in fact you have a third option and it's not been enacted here, just email me, let me know, hey, I'd like to be able to do something different, and I'll work with the creator of the coding to figure out the best way it could work for you. For those of you who have already posted, you do have the ability to edit. When you edit this post, you just click on the little piece of paper with the pencil, and then you're able to make changes to your post and update it. You know, if you go back and you find there's an error and you don't want it to be out there, feel free to make that correction. Now for the email. So those of you who've received an email from Discussion Board at t2tarizonaborderlands.org should have seen a message that looks like this. You'll receive initially the post, the initial post, and then everyone's response, one right after the other. On top you see click here to respond, and at the bottom you will see click here to respond. You can click either one of them to respond. This is what you will receive. Your email message will open up. Now, if you happen to have Outlook in your system, Outlook should open up. If you don't happen to have Outlook in your system, but it's opening up anyway, that means there might be something with your browser that doesn't know that you're not using Outlook. Many browsers just automatically make the assumption that you're using Outlook unless you change those settings. When you do get your message that pops up, it simply says Discussion Board reply. You do not change any of this. Squacky is the email address of the server. The topic is Discussion Board reply so that Squacky knows what to do with that email. And then the message that you receive says to please type your post between the taglines. This is a tagline. A beginning bracket and an end bracket is the tagline. You are not to change anything inside of those taglines. You just simply go to the end of the first tagline or underneath the first tagline and you begin typing your message. It says to end post above. That means that tagline. So you make no change within the tagline. Please do not change the transaction code. This tells the server where this message is to be posted. The server will upload your post within 5 minutes as long as it's between the hours of 6 and 10. Every hour during other time. So if you're on here at 11 o'clock at night and you post your message, it will not appear until the next hour. And then between 6 a.m. and 10 p.m. we figure people are pretty active. You're going to get your message right away and you can respond and everybody will see it right away. Once you reply to this message, it will automatically appear here, depending on wherever you are sending the message. So if it's inside of here, it'll automatically appear in the discussion board. So it serves as a record-keeping method of all of our conversations rather than us just sending an email and asking you all to respond there. So do I have to go into this discussion board? Not unless you're going to initiate a topic. If you're going to initiate a forum, a subforum, or a topic, you do not need to go into this discussion board. All you simply have to do is respond. Now, what does that mean to initiate a topic? If I go back to the beginning of my discussion board, to create a forum or a subforum, I'm going to have to click here. You might want to create a topic of your own and put it there, and that's okay. All right, I think I've gone over all of the aspects of the discussion board that is available to you right now. I do want you to notice the data that's available below. It's basically tracking activity for statistical purposes. Notice again, anything in blue means I have not read it via this discussion board. If you're going to use the system via your email all the time, you're not going to have anything that you're going to read in the discussion board. So you need not concern yourself with the read or not read. If you're the kind of person who only wants to do it here, you don't want it in your email, then that's going to be a great resource for you to know, have I read something or have I not? All right, if you have any other questions regarding the discussion board, or you have suggestions, maybe you want something done differently, please do not hesitate to let me know. My phone number again is 520-236-4158, and my email address is lhritz@email.arizona.edu.